Hello and welcome to People Live. I am your host, Hannah Scanlan. Now, is forcing employees back into the office really the best move for your business? Today, we take a look at a conversation between recruitment consultant Katarina and talent acquisition coordinator Esha to discuss the recent push to force staff back into the office. Also on today's show, we will discuss the UK's new right to switch off policy and our hot jobs across the UK, Australia and New Zealand. But first, let's take a look at the stat of the week. 67% of UK employees struggle to maintain work-life boundaries. The right to switch off is a key step, but is not enough on its own. Employers need to set a clear policy and reduce out-of-hours work interruptions. A culture of respecting work-life boundaries can boost productivity and reduce burnout. 72% of employees favour a right to disconnect law, like in Ireland. Improving employee well-being is linked to higher productivity and reduced absenteeism. Now let's head over to take a look at our hot jobs for the week. So the first position we are looking for is a store manager in central London. Now, I am managing this position, so please do get in touch with me directly if you're interested. It's paying between £40,000 and £43,000. That should be 43,500, not 435,000, just so everyone's clear on that. It is going to motivate, coach and inspire the team to perform to their full potential. It will be managing stock levels, ensuring all accurate till procedures and maintaining health and safety compliance. This position does need someone who's had proven experience in a store manager position, ideally within a flagship store. So please do get in touch if this is yourself. And also we're asking for people to please register with us for temporary work. We have lots of positions at the moment, ranging from short-term cover of a few days to really long-term temp positions lasting up to 12 months. So if you are interested in applying for that, please do get in touch today. Let's take a look at our working holiday jobs. So we have a business development manager in Western Australia, which is offering a competitive salary. Also offering a competitive salary is a sales and admin support. That's in New South Wales, and in Auckland, we're seeking a HR and payroll coordinator for $80,000.
This week, we are joined by our Talent Acquisition Coordinator, Esha Nischol at HR Solution Services to talk about working from home. Is it really an employee's right or an earned privilege? Thank you for joining today. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. So let's get into it. From your experience within recruitment, how is the growing importance of working from home and all that form of flexibility over the past few years have changed from really the way employers hire and talent, and how it's really affecting individuals' job search as well?
Yeah, I think, after COVID, the overall work from home flexibility piece was sort of, this new ground that everyone is trying to tread. And since then, it's become we like to say it's the norm. So it's a given and an expected, not really a benefit anymore even. But what it does is it provides employers access to a talent pool that maybe they wouldn't have had previously if it was a fully in-office job. So this could be candidates that, are based overseas, people that like to travel, as well as those candidates that, maybe are parents or have personal commitments. That ability to work flexibly and work from home really gives you sort of a tap into a wider candidate pool that you may not have had previously. And then, we go on to the other side of virtual interviews, which has been really helpful. And I think you and I can agree, sometimes you just really want to meet a good candidate and they can't make it into the office. So, having that ability to interview someone while they're in Europe or, if they're in a full-time job, interview on their lunch break is really helpful. On the flip side, for employees and candidates, flexibility just enables them to prioritize personal commitments and maintain work-life balance. I think we're very lucky in our work from home and flexibility. And, if you've got, for example, a gym class to go to, you can accommodate that. Whereas I feel like before it was you need to be at the office 9 to 5. There's no way around it. Or if you're sick, you can work from home and don't have to use that sick leave. So that tailored approach is really great for candidates. And then, similar to the employees then get lots of more options of roles they could potentially do from there as well.
And with that, what are the most common concerns employers have about following fully remote roles, and how valid is that really in 2024? Are there any concerns or hesitations around that?
Yeah, I think, as with everything, there are definitely concerns. When you have staff working remotely, obviously you can't see them 24/7. There's a lot of factors that come into play, the trust you have with your staff. Is it a new staff member? All of those things can have an impact on the concerns. So some employers that we've talked to have concerns around productivity and accountability. If someone's maybe away, we've heard all of the horror stories of, the mouse moving tactics and everything. It just depends on the trust you have with your employee and, the guidelines set out. So, yeah, there's definitely concerns about, are they actually working? Are they taking advantage of it? To what extent does flexibility allow? Like, can they go on a cruise and work from a cruise, or do you expect them to just be at home? There's varying ideas of what flexibility looks like. So, having those conversations from the start, I think really helps. And then another one I found, even in some of our offices, is the impact on office culture and collaboration when your teams are working from home. So thankfully we've got anchor days. So we've got days where everyone's here and everyone can collaborate, but some businesses don't. So you really struggle to find times where people can collaborate. And I think some of the best work happens when you're all around a table together, or, you're talking over the office around ideas. So I think that, and being alone at home sometimes can lead to that burnout and isolation, because you're not getting that social interaction. You're just sitting in a room that's, alone and quiet. I think that can impact a lot of people as well.
Definitely. And are there any potential negative impacts of employees pushing back individuals, making them come into the office on a full-time basis? Is there really anything that goes against their desire to work from home and that form of flexibility as well?
Yeah, I think it impacts a range of things. So, we see impacts on turnover and productivity, and issues with talent retention. So the main thing that happens is, especially if someone's working from home already, there's a lot of factors that go into why they enjoy working from home. That could be they're doing school pickups, or they have medical appointments they can go to, or they've got that flexibility so that the day they work from home, they can make sure dinner's done during lunchtime or go to Pilates, whatever it may be. When you take that away, employees then feel like they're pushed or confined to the office, and it decreases morale, and you notice it quite significantly, because the more you're able to accommodate someone, And I can attest to that as well. Times that I felt like, oh my God, that I'm so grateful that I'm able to, leave an hour early because I've got an appointment. I'll make sure that all my work is done to the highest standard. So I think the more you give, the more you also get out of it if you've got good base policies and stuff set. The work you get out of people that have that flexibility in their role is often of a higher quality because they're obviously grateful to be given the opportunity to work from home. And then also another thing with the cost of living at the moment, the added stress and cost of getting to the office from not having spent that for the last 3 years, all of a sudden parking costs in the city, you could look anywhere between $50 to $70 a day. Then there's 2 hours travel time, then your day's gone. So that can often have a negative impact on mental health as well.
And even adding to that, if you were to take public transport into the city, even the costs of taking a bus in the Sydney CBD, whether it's in inner eastern suburbs or western suburbs or North Shore, it's all increased as well. So I've definitely seen that in the legal market where if a firm offers that form of flexibility, they're able to retain their staff at a much better rate compared to businesses who are stripping back that work from home arrangement. So it's definitely echoed across a lot of different industries and sectors, whether it's in Sydney or globally as well. How do we see 2025? Do you think that there'll be any form of flexibility? What would the hybrid model really look like? I know it sounds so crazy talking about 2025 now, but businesses are starting to plan and think, what are they going to do? Are they going to copy other businesses or stick to their own model? And what are your comments on that? And how do you see that overall?
Yeah, I completely get where you're coming from. It's insane to think we're nearly at 2025. We just started 2024. I personally think remote and hybrid models are like here to stay. So I think they're going to continue to be integrated into workplaces in 2025. Obviously, something you've noticed probably as well is some of the clients we've spoken to are trying to move employees back into the office full time. They're seeing the backlash from that. And there are quite a few challenges. I think what companies will do is review what working from home and flexibility looks like. Look at the policies, look at how that best works for the business. And then I feel like they'll work on setting it up in a way that, helps the business thrive. So that could be, having set anchor days, tailoring to different people, flexible hours, whatever works best for their business. I think it'll move away from being one of those like COVID things that we came from into something that's part of the day-to-day normal policies. And I think they'll put more time into looking at what that looks like.
Definitely. And if people are wanting to get in touch with you, how can they? What's your best number to reach?
Yeah, so the amazing marketing team will put my details down below, so you can get in touch with me via email or call. And all of the other teams and branches are always happy to hear from you as well. So if you do need a bit of help, whether that's for a role or just some advice, we as recruiters and people in this space, we love talking to people. So if you want to just have a chat with us, give us a call.
No worries. Well, thank you so much for joining today, Esha. It was lovely catching up.
So last week we asked, once the job market bounces back, what is your plan? And 59% of you say you're going to find a new job, which is a huge majority. So thank you very much for voting in that. Next week, we're going to ask, what aspect of remote or hybrid work appeals most to you? Is it flexible schedule, no daily commute, life-work balance, or cost saving? So please do give us a vote. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be back same time next week.